In November 1944, Allied pilots over Germany began reporting a terrifying new phenomenon. They described glowing spheres of light, which they called Foo Fighters, that could outmaneuver any known aircraft, keeping pace with bombers and performing aerial feats that defied conventional physics. These encounters fueled a decades-long conspiracy theory. The popular narrative suggests the German Air Force had mastered extraterrestrial technology to build functional flying saucers. These reports emerged from a period of acute military desperation. The mysterious craft seen by airmen were the result of a frantic human effort to engineer a way out of a losing war. The flying saucer myth masks a radical reality, a massive, highly classified push to move aerospace engineering beyond the limitations of standard propellers and wings. By the end of 1944, the air war was a slaughter. Allied bombing runs were systematically obliterating the industrial infrastructure of the Third Reich, leaving its manufacturing capabilities in ruins. Traditional fighters like the Focke-Wulf 190 were no longer enough. Even if factories could produce them, the destruction of airfields meant German planes were frequently grounded. They simply had no intact runways left for takeoff. This crisis led the regime to demand Wunderwaffen, or wonder weapons. Hitler ordered the development of a new class of invincible aircraft that could launch vertically, hidden from Allied bombers and independent of runways. Aerodynamicists pursued the circular disc shape to solve a specific problem. A saucer-like hull allowed for a centralized propulsion system, providing the vertical lift necessary to get a fighter into the sky from a dead stop. As the surface of Germany became a target-rich environment for the Allies, the High Command moved their most radical aerospace projects into the Earth itself. In the Au Mountains of Poland, they began Project Reese, the Giant. It was a colossal network of tunnels and bunkers, designed to house an entire hidden industry, safe from any Allied bomb. This bomb-proof labyrinth allowed research teams to test experimental craft in total isolation. If one facility was discovered, the others could continue their work in these high-security, interconnected chambers. The sheer scale of the excavation proves how much the regime gambled on this technology. They viewed these mountain bases as the birthplace of the machine that would win the war. Engineers focused on a repulsion craft design. A centralized aerodynamic field could achieve vertical liftoff without traditional wings. This led to the Bell, utilizing two massive opposite spinning cylinders. It reportedly used radioactive materials to manipulate gravity, creating an intense upward force. This propulsion system was lethal to those who built it. The radiation emitted during tests was so intense that several top scientists involved in the project died of poisoning during the experimental phase. The clean, futuristic aesthetic of a flying saucer is a sanitized version of the truth. These underground testing grounds were not built with advanced automation, but with the blood and exhaustion of slave labor. The SS categorized the prisoners digging these tunnels as bearers of secrets. Having seen the internal layout of the testing facilities, they were officially sentenced to die in the mountains to ensure the project remained hidden. Historical records indicate that over 40,000 people died in the damp, dark tunnels of Project Reese. They were worked to death to create a secret sanctuary for Hitler's weapons of last resort. The pop culture myth of an advanced Nazi UFO ignores this human reality. These machines were the product of a regime that prioritized radical technology over the lives of the tens of thousands who built their testing grounds. The war reached its end before these vertical lift prototypes could be perfected or used in combat. As Allied armies closed in, the scientists fled and the mountain bases were abandoned. This created a frantic secondary war between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both superpowers raced to locate the engineers who had worked on these physics-defying projects. The Americans launched Operation Paperclip, a secret mission to recruit top German scientists. They wanted to capture the intellectual capital behind projects like the Bell before it fell into Soviet hands. The defeat of the Reich yielded a massive technological harvest. The Allies seized millions of patents, ranging from jet engines to radical blueprints for circular aircraft. Seized German data directly influenced post-war design, leading to real-world saucer projects. In the 1950s, the US and Canada collaborated on the Avrocar, a disc-shaped vehicle that utilized a centralized fan for vertical takeoff. While the Avrocar was a public failure that could barely hover above the ground, its existence permanently linked the flying saucer shape to military secret projects in the public mind. The legacy of those secret mountain labs extends to the stars. The same scientists who developed wartime wonder weapons were the key figures who designed the Saturn V rocket, the machine that eventually carried humanity to the moon. The orbs and disks reported by 1944 aircrews represent the extreme final push of a failing regime, a pursuit of physics-defying technology that would eventually form the basis of modern aerospace history.